Hey guys, Chris from 4K Motoring here, back with you today. Gonna do a little bit of an update on some of the mods I've done on the Corvette. Kind of tell you how it's driving now, tell you what I've noticed that's changed, and what I think about it. So as you guys might recall, if you've seen some of my recent videos, some of my big things I've done to the car. The short throw shifter's been on. I have just a couple hundred miles on that so far. I have the new Corbeau seats, and they haven't been in the car long. And the C6 wheels and new Michelin tires are also on, which have changed the driving a little bit. So I'll kind of tell you about how those things have influenced, you know, the driving behavior of the car, how it feels, and that sort of thing. So what I'll tell you is that the short shifter is freaking awesome. I don't know exactly how to explain what I'm feeling, but it's like the shift times are perfect where the RPMs don't drop. You're still in the power. Man, it is so fast to get back on it. That has made this car really come alive in a way that just long 5-inch throw could not do. So that by itself has been pretty amazing. I'm sure coupled with the upgraded clutch really helped that out. So I'm not sure on a factory clutch how it would do if it would have the same bite or whatnot. But the setup I have now, wow, I'm very impressed by that. That is, especially for the cost, you can't go wrong that way. Would highly recommend one of these short throw shifters. The seats are quite good. The side bolstering, I don't have to brace myself against the door anymore when I'm driving, and that's been incredible, just to be able to actually drive the car. Obviously I don't have harnesses in, I don't have bars and all to put the harnesses in, so I'm not stuck to the seat as well as I could be. These are not one-piece race seats, they're not certified race seats. So they are still giving up, you know, a little bit to comfort, as in you can still get in and out of the car. The memory foam padding that they use, what it seems like they use, is really good. I don't have the shaved base on it, so I have the full thickness of padding, and it is good. I would say it's pretty comparable to the factory seats as far as comfort goes, but with a lot more stability. So that's very nice. They look great. As for the wheels and tires, what I can tell you is the steering is without a doubt sharper. The 17-inch front wheels that came on the C5 had some big sidewall tires, and the gentleman I bought this car from had Federal branded tires. I'm sure whatever was cheap. He was just using them for a drag racing car, I think. So they weren't really great for stopping, they weren't great for turning, which are really the two things your front tires have to be good at. So with that, I've noticed a dramatic improvement in sharpness, handling, that sort of thing from the front end of this car. The feel is so much better now with these Michelins and with the 18-inch front wheel. The back end feels a little harsher. And by that I mean, before, when I had my F45 suspension in performance mode, where it's supposed to be tight, the car wouldn't shift its weight around quite as much, but it still didn't feel uncomfortable. When I have it in performance mode now, the big bumps, I can feel that shock transmitted to me, you know, a little bit. Not uncomfortably so, but enough to notice it's there where I really didn't before. So it's not as bad as some of the cars I've had before with, you know, lowering coilovers and all that stuff on them that have been really more autocross or track oriented. It's not that bad, but it is more so than the factory. And again, part of that could be going back to the seats. I didn't have a lot of seat time in these seats because of my alternator issue. To let you know if what I'm feeling is just the seats not absorbing the impact, or if it's really the wheels and tires. But I went from 18-inch kind of cushy tires in the back to now 19-inch run flats. So there's not a lot of give there as far as ride comfort. Take that for what it is. It's not by any means an uncomfortable car to be in at this point, but it has sharpened everything up a little bit to more of a performance-oriented vehicle than a touring-oriented vehicle, truly. With the suspension in touring mode, the shock is still there a little bit over bumps. It's not nearly as bad. The car is, you know, turning into exactly what I want it to be, and all the mods I've done so far have kind of been in service to that. So I know I don't have many miles on them so far, all these mods, but I've been very impressed with all of them. They've all been fantastic for me, so I can't say enough good things about that stuff. I do have a couple more mods coming on the way. Next one I'll be doing, and I'd love your advice on, I'm going to be doing a infotainment screen, something that has wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay on it. I already have the bezel for the console here. I'm really now starting to look at what models of actual screen I would like, the actual unit itself. I've doubled in spacing, so I'll see what's available, what gives me that wireless option, and what looks clean in this car, because that's really what I'd like. I'm going to add a backup camera as well, so that'll be that. The only issues I have now to deal with, like I said, I got the alternator taken care of, so the electrical system is actually quite happy with it. It's been running great. We're over 14 volts now. All is good with that battery charged. I still have that oil leak I got to figure out, and that's, I know, from the drain plug, and that's a whole saga by itself. So that is still weeping, not catastrophically, but I do have to keep adding oil. And my reverse lights keep blowing the fuse for them. I don't know why. I think they worked when I got the car with the incandescent bulbs. I swapped LED bulbs in there, and when you press the lock and unlock button, the reverse lights come on just like they're supposed to. They've never had an issue, but actually in reverse, they won't come on. Did some digging on the forums. Everybody felt very sure that that was because of the switch in the transmission, the reverse switch in the transmission. Replaced that, ended up breaking off the head of it, over tightened it, just because I read some things about it not being in far enough when the lights still wouldn't turn on. Had to do a creative JB Weld job to get that bolt back out of the transmission. Did that, got another sensor, put it in. Sensor's only 3 months old, and did all that just to find that it was a fuse that was blown under the passenger side floorboard here. So I replaced that. It worked for a little while, and then decided to blow again. So I replaced it again, and then it blew right away. So I'm going to need to do some digging and track down exactly, you know, what might be causing that in the circuit here. It's odd that it's doing it with reverse engage, but not with the key fob actuation, for what that's worth. So hopefully we'll have a video on that soon. Got a couple more cosmetic mods coming up, so I think another month or so this thing is going to be a whole different vehicle from what it was. One thing I did learn about this car that you may or may not know, I have not seen a lot of people post about this on YouTube or in any review videos. So I've noticed on heavy acceleration my air conditioner gets decently warm. Here in July in the North Carolina summer, you notice it. So I got to thinking maybe I had a vacuum leak or there's a blend door issue, something that went wrong under heavy acceleration. I did a little bit digging and I discovered evidently these cars are built to turn off and disengage the AC compressor under heavy acceleration. So that way if you're sitting on the drag strip, you can be cool while you're sitting and waiting, but as soon as you hammer it, the AC compressor is not stealing any power from you, which I thought was really cool. I was a bit skeptical over it at first, so I looked at it, and you can see at about 5,000 RPM while climbing, the light on the AC button down on the climate control system turns off. So we know it does it, and I just think that's pretty cool of Chevrolet to do. Something I didn't know, I figured I'd share that with you guys. So it's not broken, it's actually designed to do that. If you want air conditioning, don't hammer the throttle. So I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned to 4K Motoring. We're definitely going to have more, and we'll see you next time.